So I'm going to tell you how I got to 10k a month as a one-man band and how you essentially could just copy what I did. Obviously there's so many variables at play and timing and luck and all these things, all that bollocks. But essentially I still think the processes stand, and I think you could copy this and within 12 months get to this sort of 10k a month. You could do it faster than me for sure. Okay, quick bit of backstory. So I was working in marketing agencies in London. I was doing digital marketing. Before that, it was very much just, I was working in like flyering and things like this. But I really pushed to learn the skill of paid ads. At the same time, the reason I wanted to do that was because I was also in a band. I still am in a band. It's called Dirty Nice. Quick shout out. God, that's stupid. I'm in this band and was trying to sell tickets. So the way you do that is through Facebook and Instagram ads is one of the best ways to do it. You run ads to people that follow you, etc. So I was spending only small amounts, like £10 a day for like a week before a gig to try and get as many people through the door. And that taught me a hell of a lot. And also through the agency world, learning their systems, bigger budgets, I learned a lot. Then I joined Generate Ads as the first hire. Generate Ads was founded by Sam Jones, he was the global brand manager at Red Bull. He's also a friend. I happened to bump into him. I hadn't seen him in years, but I happened to bump into him in WeWork, and the one in Shoreditch. And he was there, and then he told me about his business. And essentially, he offered me a job on the spot. He's like, look, if you quit your job today, you can come and be the first hire. And I was like, fuck it. It was a really exciting moment in my life. Sam's such an inspiring guy, a lovely guy, very smart, has grown that company. He was on Dragon's Den. You can just search Sam Jones pitch from Dragon's Den. He went on BBC because of it, because they're like, this is the best pitch we've ever seen, blah, blah, blah. That's a story from the time. So I joined him, and he was very good at raising. So he was raising, and my job essentially was to acquire new customers for this browser extension, this app. And the way we did that was through Facebook ads, we did Instagram ads, we did Twitter ads, we did everything. We tried affiliates, we did Reddit stuff, we did Facebook groups, all like old school, new school stuff, that any sort of growth hack stuff we could find, we were doing. So that taught me a hell of a lot. And then also through the paid ad stuff, because we were spending quite a lot, and just Sam was not scared at all just to try crazy stuff. So we did that. So I had a lot of experience from that. Same time, I got offered to go on tour to America. So I did that. It was a childhood dream. I ended up leaving Generate because of it. Sam needed someone full time, and I just was like, look, I've got to go to the US. I had this opportunity. So I went, gave up the job, came back, had no job, but transitioned to freelance, doing the paid ads thing. I stumbled across the cliche book, 4 Hour Work Week, the Tim Ferriss one. If you don't know, that one is worth reading if you're a freelancer or interested in like taking control of your life a little bit. There's lots of stuff in that I think that maybe don't apply to today, but I think there's so much good information in there. That book completely changed my life. Some people think it's trash, but I love it. Anyway, so that book basically gave me the confidence that I could perhaps do this as a one-man band, and then also at the same time travel and also do the band. And so I did that. I stumbled across, I also at the same time as this stumbled across a YouTube channel by this guy called Bradley Riley, and that was how to generate clients from Upwork. So whatever your skill, you could be a graphic designer, you could have, you could be a UGC creator, whatever it is now, you will have a skill. Mine at the time was paid ads. Bradley Riley's course told me how to get my first client, my second client, and so and essentially go from 0 to 10k a month, which I followed his formula, which essentially is applying to 50 plus, as many jobs as you can a day on Upwork, because people are looking for someone to start today, and that's the beauty of Upwork. The annoying thing about Upwork is it's real bitch to get your first client, your first few, because you have no reviews. It just takes so much time. You have to work for cheap. It's a race to the bottom with Upwork, really, because there's people all over the world who'll do the job for nothing with loads of reviews. So it's very tough. But I committed to what this guy Bradley was saying, I just trust him for some reason, which sounds so stupid and naive, and it probably was to a degree, but it fucking started to work. And so I just committed and I just kept doing this process and kept running ads for small businesses, really small businesses to start with really tiny budgets. And actually running ads with tiny budgets is like a million times harder than running accounts with huge budgets. So I learned a lot. I learned a lot of like growth hacky stuff. I learned a lot about how to essentially advertise all the ins and outs of paid ads and Google and all the different platforms and LinkedIn and TikTok, etc. So I continued to do that, and then got to the point from I was earning, £1,000 a month, and I had 2 clients, and then it got a bit more, and then it got a bit more, and then I started charging more, and then I had better clients, and now I'm at this point where I don't actually use Upwork at all anymore. Once you've got to this point, I think Upwork is a really great tool to go from 0 to 3K a month, like your first 3K, which is the hardest, I think. And then once you get to 3K, then you naturally, once you have enough clients coming through, then you can start to work on your referrals, asking one client to give you more clients, and then ask for reviews, and essentially the process continues. And as long as you niche down into something, so mine was paid ads, and I really should niche even further, which is something which I'm going to be doing. If you, for example, if you're really good on TikTok, why don't you start as a UGC creator on TikTok for D2C brands? That is a niche. If you just gun for that, you will, and you could, within 6 months, certainly have 6 or 7 clients if you follow this process of going through Upwork. There's a million different ways to get new clients. Upwork is just a system which worked, and I've still find that it has worked for me. So I haven't used it in a long time, but I guess in the last about 6 months ago, I did actually revert to it, and I applied to a few jobs just out of interest because I hadn't used the platform in such a long time. And I ended up getting a client from that, actually, a big brand name, which is really surprising that all the big brands are using it, but it kind of makes sense because there's reviews. People, it's like Airbnb again. It's like you stay somewhere where the reviews are good and you can read what everyone says about it. So this is a very quick insight and I guess overview of how I got to this point where now I'm 10K and above. But I really think if you want to start earning as an individual and then we have the option to go traveling and live somewhere else. I live in Lisbon in Portugal right now. We've stayed in Senegal for 6 months. We stayed in Colombia for 6 months. We've been all over. That's the 4-hour work week stuff kicking in. But yeah, there's so much opportunity, and I think the Upwork route is such a great one to get your 0 to 3K mark. And then from there, then you need to work out what the next thing is, and it's different for everyone. And now I'm at a point where I've just hired my first full-time employee, and I'm at a point where I'm 10K upwards a month, and I now need to work out how to get to the next point. So I'm going to be sharing my journey essentially of scaling my now agency, small little team, into hopefully some beastly team and working with bigger clients. And I'll just be documenting my journey and sharing more about how I got to where I am. I hope that's helpful. Ciao, ciao.